In the lesson today, we would have looked at algorithms, pseudocode, and iteration, but we're going to focus on iteration in my absence and concentrate on coding iteration. So it's going to take the form of two programs that we want to do. The first one is showing all even positive numbers. So what we want to do is get the microbit to print out all even numbers larger than 0, i.e. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, through to positive infinity. So the way we're going to do it is as follows. This here is what we call pseudocode. It's like a set of instructions, but it's sort of written more in English rather than in coding languages. And we've got two variations on the code that we want to do. The first one is print all odd numbers larger than and equal to 0. Probably just should say larger than 0. And print all odd numbers and stop at the last odd number before 100. i.e. 99. So let's get coding. So you should have a microbit with you now, and we go to makecode.microbit.org, and our first project we'll call looping. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll stick with the onStart block. And what we'll do is start passing it some instructions. So the first thing we want to do is we want to grab a variable. So let's make one. We'll just call it number. That'll store the value that we want the microbit to print. Okay, so we're going to grab a set number, and we're going to give it an initial value of 2 because we want all even positive numbers. Okay, so once we've set that number to 2, what we're going to do is go into a loop. And what we want to do is keep running this loop while the microbit hasn't been shaken. Alright, so in the loop, what we want to do is print out the number. So show number. So what they should do is print out a 2 here. There it is. All right, and then what we want to do is add 2 to the number to print out 4 and then 6, and do that repetitively. So we'll go to variables and set number 2, do a math. Always do that. Alright, set number to number plus 2. Alright, so what my microbit should do is go 2, 4, 6, 8. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to stop this process when the microbit gets shaken. Okay, so while, and what we'll do is a logic statement. Okay, we'll do a comparison. So what I'm going to do is, instead of going while true, I'm going to get rid of that and do a comparison. Alright, the comparison I want is, I'm going to try and go with some input and isShakeGesture. So while isShakeGesture is not equal to true, i.e. while we haven't detected a shake, can we keep repeating this? Alright, let's see if this works. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc., etc. So this will keep looping until I shake the microbit, and we can simulate a shake on the emulator by just clicking here. And it stopped. So it detected the shake and stopped the loop. Alright, so there's all even positive numbers. So that takes care of that one there. Now what we've got to do is print all odd numbers larger than 0. So see if you can pause the video now and think of a way to do this. Have a tinker around, and when you're ready to check how you did it compared to what I did, unpause the video and you'll see a method of doing it. There's heaps of different ways to do it. Alright, so hopefully you had a go at that, and maybe you succeeded and maybe you didn't. There's a pretty quick way to do this, is instead of the number being set to 2, the first even positive number, we just set it to 1 and add 2 to 1 each time. Okay, now it should then be going. Why isn't it going? Let's stop it and play it again. There we go. Don't know why it just stayed at 1 there. So on start, set number to 1. While it hasn't been shaken, add 2 to it. So it's printing all odd numbers. Let's see if a shake stops it. Oh, stop. Yeah, and it stopped. Okay, so there is all odds. Now the last thing we wanted to do is to keep doing this until it gets to the last odd number before 100, i.e. 99. So what we want to do is, while it's looping, within this loop, we want to do a quick check. So I'm going to choose an if block. I'm going to grab that if block there. And what I want to do is I want to check the value of the number. So if the number is greater than, and I know it's supposed to be 100, but I'm going to go with 10 first of all. So if the number is greater than or equal to 10, then it's going to do this thing here. Now what we're going to do is, from loop, we're going to choose this break command. Okay, now what this will do, I'm going to stop the emulator here to try and explain what it does. So if the number goes larger than or equal to 10, then it's going to break out of this loop, i.e. it's going to stop the loop statement. And that's basically the same as detecting a gesture here. It does virtually the same thing. Alright, so what should happen here when I hit play? We got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And what's happened at this point here is it entered the if statement, because it would have added 2 to the number, which is 11, and gone here and said, if the number is larger than or equal to 10, then break out of the loop. So that's exactly what's happened. It's broken out of the loop. Now, because 10 works, we can immediately assume that 100 works, and we don't need to really test 100 because we've tested it for 10 and we know it works for 10. So there's the first one. That is show all even positive numbers and variations on that program. All right, let's go with the second one now. So let's make a new program, and we'll call this one lights on. All right, let's have a look at what this one's supposed to do. Light me up. When the A button is pressed, we're going to clear the screen, grab a variable called exposition, and do something 4 times. We're going to light up an LED, pause, unlight it, and add 1 to the variable, and do this 4 times. All right, now let's see what this program does before we work out how we can extend it up. So we're going to take input on A button pressed and get rid of these 2 blocks here. Right, the next thing we'll do is clear the screen. So let's just grab a clear screen. All right, we need a variable, and we're going to call it the exposition, or expos. So we're going to set the exposition to the 0 value. Now we're going to do a loop, but what I know is I want to do this particular thing 4 times only. So this loop block here is better than the while loop, because it just allows me to specify the exact amount of times I want to loop for. So repeat 4 times, and what I want to do is do some lighting up. So that's going to change an LED. So what we'll do is plot variable expos and y0. All right, so let's just see what this should do. So expos is set to 0, repeat 4 times, plot exposition, which is currently 0, and 0. Now what that will do is this LED, the one at the top left hand corner, is in column 0 and row 0. So 0, 0 should light up this LED, and it should do it 4 times. Let's try it. All right, there we go. Not very exciting. All right, what we're going to do is get this light here to move to this light here, or this spot here. So the way we're going to do that is I will put a wait statement in, so basic, and pause. Let's change this pause to 500 milliseconds. All right, then what I'll do is I will unlight this one or unplot it. So in LED, I'm going to go unplot, expos. Okay, let's see what that does. So it repeats it 4 times and then unlights it. Okay, now here's the cool thing. So what we'll do is I am going to now go to variables and set the exposition to exposition +1. So what this will do is increment or add 1 to the value of exposition. So what's going to do is it's currently set to 0. It'll light up 0, 0, unlight 0, 0, and increase it by the value of 1. I'm not sure why it's giving me an error there. Type boolean is not assignable to type number. Oh, plus it should be. Okay, so that was not very bright. Let's get rid of that. And we'll go to logic. No, we want to do maths. There we go. What am I doing logic for? So we'll go expos +1. All right, now it likes that. Okay, so what's going to happen is, yeah, exposition will go up by 1 each time. So it's going to plot 1, 0, okay, which will be this next light over here. Let's see if it works. It does. All right, now what we'll do is we'll get it to do it for all 5 lights on the microbit. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to get it to print out all 5 and go all 5 and then all 5, all 5, all 5, and then all 5. So it'll be a simple change here of, let's do another plot. And we'll change this to Y1. Okay, and let's just try this out and see what happens. So yeah, it definitely works nicely for that one. So it plots the second Y there. All right, so then we'll do an unplot. Y1. Right, and essentially what we can do is just rip these code blocks and paste them over and over again so that it will do that for Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5. Okay. So yeah, let's get it to do that, and let's see if we can think of actually a much more efficient way of doing that. Like, do we need to repeat those code blocks there? Okay. And my final challenge to you for this one here is see if you can get it to create some nice unique pattern by playing around with loops and the plot XY feature. So see if you can get it to dance around a little bit or make a few moves and repeat that. Okay, so my challenge to you is next week when I'm back in class, show me something cool. All right, once you've had a play with that, you're going to go back home. And what I'd love you to do is to either experiment around and find something a little bit quirky to do. There's heaps of different tutorials here that you can use. There's other people who have got things that they can that you can do, a coin flipper, 7 seconds, hot potato, etc., etc. So try something out and see what you can make. Good luck, girls.